The Hook and the original sin Mosaic X. Most people treat the internet like a digital shopping mall, but for some, it's a dark alleyway where the wrong door leads to a permanent federal file. Welcome to ByteMe Explained. Today, we're diving into the software the authorities tried to scrub from the earth, every banned and illegal browser in history. We start with a piece of digital creepypasta that turned out to be real, Mosaid-X. In the early 90s, the NCSA Mosaic browser revolutionized the web by putting images next to text. It was the grandfather of Chrome, but in the mid-2010, a cursed variant appeared on underground forums. Mosaid-X looked like a 1993 relic, but it was recoded into a high-level SQL injection beast designed to crawl dark directories that modern browsers literally can't see. It wasn't banned because it was old, it was banned because it was a digital skeleton key. If you were caught with this on your drive, you weren't just a retro tech fan, you were a threat to national security. It's the ultimate illegal OS accessory, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. Stick around, because Hasson is a browser so dangerous it can't even run on a normal computer. The Pirate's Portal, the pirate browser. Back in 2013, the internet was a battlefield. ISPs were blocking the Pirate Bay faster than users could click download. In a move of peak Swedish defiance, the site's founders released the pirate browser. On the surface, it looked like a standard Firefox build with a cool skin. Inside, it was a pre-configured bypass machine. It utilized a bundle of Tor clients and custom proxy configurations specifically tuned to punch through government-level censorship. It didn't actually let you browse the onion dark web. It just made the regular web behave like it was 1999 again. Naturally, copyright holders lost their minds. Antivirus companies were pressured to flag the exe as a Trojan immediately upon download. In countries like the UK, Iran, and Belgium, simply having the installer on your desktop was treated like holding stolen goods. It was eventually banned by the sheer weight of legal pressure and blacklisting. It represents a time when the browser wasn't just a window, but a political statement. It's essentially the Windows Vista of piracy, clunky, controversial, and destined to be shut down by the man. To use it today is to invite a DMCA notice directly to your front door. It remains a legendary piece of software that proved browsers could be used as a blunt force instrument against international copyright law. The Amnesiac Ghost, Tails browser. If you've ever wanted to feel like a spy, or if you actually are one, you know about Tails. Most browsers try to remember you so they can sell you ads for socks you already bought. Tails is the opposite. It's the Amnesiac Incognito Live system. It doesn't just run on your computer, it colonizes it. You boot it from a USB, and the moment you pull that stick, every single bit of data is wiped from the RAM. It's banned in the sense that the NSA's X key score system reportedly flags anyone who even searches for it. It became the most infamous browser on the planet after Edward Snowden used it to leak the PRISM documents. Using Tails isn't illegal in most Western countries, but it puts a giant digital bullseye on your back. It's the browser for people who don't just want privacy, they want to vanish. The FBI hates it so much they've spent millions developing zero-day exploits just to de-anonymize its users. If Chrome is a glass house, Tails is a lead-lined bunker hidden in a forest that doesn't exist. It ignores your local hard drive entirely, making it the perfect tool for digital archaeology in places the government says don't exist. If you're caught using it in a cafe, expect the person at the next table to be wearing an earpiece. The mobile mutant, Skyfire. Remember the early days of the iPhone? Steve Jobs famously hated Adobe Flash, calling it a buggy mess. This created a dark age where half the internet simply wouldn't load on your phone. Enter Skyfire. This browser didn't just load Flash. It hijacked a remote server, converted the Flash video into a mobile-friendly format in real time, and beamed it to your screen. It was genius, and it was almost immediately banned from the App Store. Why? Because it bypassed Apple's walled garden and put a massive strain on network providers. AT&T and Apple treated it like a virus because it allowed users to do things they weren't supposed to do on a mobile device, like watching full-quality video without a dedicated app. It was the first major App Store ban that showed us the true power of the gatekeepers. It wasn't illegal because of the law, it was illegal because it broke the business model. It's a cursed piece of mobile history that proved if you make a browser too good, the tech giants will delete you from existence before you can say bandwidth. It was the pioneer of server-side rendering, but its success was its death sentence. It remains a warning to developers: never build something that makes the carrier's data plan look obsolete. The invisible crawler, DeepNet Explorer. Long before Google Chrome became the monopoly we know today, there was a weird, ambitious project called DeepNet Explorer. Launched in the early 2000s, It claimed to be the world's most secure browser, but it had a cursed feature, an integrated P2P peer-to-peer file sharing network built directly into the UI. You could search for a website and a Linux ISO at the same time. This made it a magnet for the early Wear-res scene. Because it bypassed the standard searching protocols of the time, it was often used to find directories that were supposed to be hidden from the public eye. Corporations and ISPs eventually started shadow banning the browser's traffic because it was essentially a hacking light tool disguised as a family-friendly browser. It's one of those rare pieces of software that was too early for its time and too dangerous for its own good. It's the Internet Explorer of the underground, ugly, weirdly powerful, and eventually crushed by the weight of its own controversies. It featured an RSS reader and anti-phishing tools years before they became industry standards, but its insistence on baked-in file sharing made it a prime target for legal teams. It eventually faded into the digital graveyard, a victim of its own attempt to be everything for everyone. The Great Firewall breaker, Lantern. In countries with heavy censorship, a browser isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Lantern started as a simple tool but evolved into a peer-to-peer browser network. It doesn't rely on a central server, which makes it nearly impossible for governments to block entirely. This has made it one of the most banned pieces of software in places like China and Russia. The authorities there treat downloading Lantern like an act of digital treason. It works by borrowing bandwidth from users in free access countries to create a bridge for those behind the firewall. It's the Robin Hood of browsers. But because it uses a decentralized mesh, it's also been flagged by Western security firms as a potential botnet risk. It's a browser that exists in a permanent grey area, a hero to activists and a villain to IT departments. It's the digital equivalent of a secret tunnel. And just like a secret tunnel, the people in charge are always trying to fill it with concrete. If you are using Lantern, you aren't just browsing, you are part of a global resistance network. The code is constantly being rewritten to stay one step ahead of the censors, making it a masterpiece of adaptive software. It is banned because it proves that no wall, digital or physical, is truly impenetrable. The privacy paranoid, Epic Privacy Browser. What happens when you build a browser that is too private? You get Epic. Based on Chromium, Epic strips out every single tracking feature Google ever dreamed of. It has a built-in one-click VPN and a proxy system that rotates your identity. While it sounds great for you, it's a nightmare for data brokers. Epic has faced soft bans across various corporate networks and schools because it's effectively untrackable. Some government agencies have reportedly blocked its update servers because it makes their so-based fingerprinting techniques useless. It's banned by the advertising industry's silent agreement to make it as hard to use as possible. If you use Epic, you'll find that half the legit websites on the internet will refuse to load because they can't see who you are. It's a banned experience, not because of a law, but because the modern web is built on the death of privacy, and Epic is a ghost in the machine. It forces a clean slate every time you close the tab, deleting cookies, history, and trackers with a ruthless efficiency. It is the browser that makes you a stranger to your own internet provider. In an age of mass surveillance, being a stranger is the most illegal thing you can be. The nuclear option, the onion router Tor. We've saved the big boss for last. Tor is the most banned browser in human history. The United States Naval Research Lab developed it to safeguard government communications, not hackers. But once it was released to the public, it became the illegal browser by default. It's banned in Russia, Belarus, Turkey, and China. In these places, the ISP won't just block the site they might send a knock to your door if they see onion traffic coming from your IP. Tor works by bouncing your signal through 3 different layers of nodes around the world, making it effectively impossible to trace. It's the only way to access the true dark web. It's illegal because it's the only tool that actually works. It's the final boss of this list because it represents the ultimate fear of every government, a citizen who cannot be watched. It's slow, it's cursed with a reputation for crime, but it's the most powerful 20 megabytes of code ever written. Use it, and you're not just browsing, you're stepping outside the map. If the internet had a nuclear option for privacy, this is it. It is the final frontier of digital freedom, and the reason why the most powerful organizations on Earth are still trying to find its off switch. Stay human, stay curious, and subscribe for My Poor Cat.